Witcher 4 literally just got announced. Like, what the actual Gwent? So the Game Awards are currently, as of recording, still going on right now. CD Projekt Red, out of nowhere, dropped the Witcher 4 cinematic trailer. Now, this trailer is supposedly within the Unreal 5 engine, and if this is an indication of what the game's gonna look like, that's insane. It's described as a unique rendition within Unreal Engine 5, so it's probably not a build of the game we're watching, but a cinematic made in the same engine. So it's probably gonna look different when we actually get our hands on it, but it might resemble it. Okay, look, I know a lot of long-time viewers of my channel are gonna be like, bro, what are you doing? You don't talk about The Witcher. I know, but if you didn't know, one of my favorite games of all time is The Witcher 3. I've done like 7 playthroughs of that game, and that game has definitely shaped me into the sort of gamer I am. And in a roundabout way, it's definitely shaped this channel, so I've got to talk about it. And, you know, I want to, so I will. Now, confirmed by this trailer, we will be playing as Ciri. Obviously, she was more of a side protagonist, side character in The Witcher 3. Now we know that the canon ending for The Witcher 3 was where Ciri becomes a Witcher. You had 3 endings: the Witcher ending, the Empress ending when she rules Nilfgaard, and the sad ending when she game ends. Well, obviously the canon choice is she becomes a Witcher. I always assumed that was the case. That seems like the good ending. So, you know, it makes sense. I think it's good for her character arc. You know, she was always meant to become a Witcher. So, you know, it's nice to see that, look, she took the reins from Geralt. He's chilling in Tucson. He's at his wine vineyard with Triss or Yennefer or whoever. And Ciri's out doing the handy work now. She's out protecting the Northern Kingdoms or whatever. Now, I loved how this trailer was set up. It was structured very similarly to A Night to Remember, The Witcher 3 cinematic. It also harkens back to that original Witcher 1 cinematic, but they all kind of have a similar theme, but it works. This seems like a much more weathered, much older and wiser Ciri. By her voice, you can tell she's older. When I was watching before I realized it definitely was Ciri, I was thinking, is this a new Witcher? Because she sounds different, but then I saw the scar and I was like, yep. It's definitely her. When it comes to the trailer overall, I loved the way, you know, it told a story. This trailer to me just shows that, look, they still get it. They still understand the DNA of The Witcher. They still understand why it hit so hard for so many people. You've got the world building being this quite dark, depressing, twisted fantasy world. You know, the father sending off her daughter of the village to literally be killed by a monster because they believe that to be the gods, an offering, when in all likelihood, it's literally just a monster deceiving this village for their own gain. Ciri knows this. She tries to protect this girl. She does, she slays the monster. We get to see a really cool ability, which I would assume is a mix between Witcher signs and her Elder Blood power. She sort of transfused water and had this chain, which I assume might be some part of her abilities. She slapped the hell out of that monster. The monster was game ended. She heads back to the village to find out that this daughter, although saved by herself, she wasn't a victim of the monster anymore. Turns out the daughter has now been game ended by a fellow village member. I would think maybe she had a knife in her and then she was unalived. So what I would assume is the villagers were not happy that this daughter was not offered to the gods, and they thought the only thing they could do to save their village was to take her out themselves, to say, look, we're sorry, this is, you know, you got it. And again, that ties into the whole lesser, greater evil thing that, you know, The Witcher is known for, as well as that dark world, and then that hate that people have, that misunderstanding that people perceive witches to be. Ciri is very much someone that is shunned out after committing an objectively good deed. Well, I suppose in this case it's subjective. Now, before I end this video, because this isn't going to be a long one, there is something I think could work really well for Ciri being the main protagonist of The Witcher 4. Firstly, I feel like, you know, Geralt's always been a Witcher for as long as he can remember. That's the life he knows. If the story of The Witcher 4 can play on Ciri's past life and, you know, the life she lives now as a Witcher, maybe there's a bit more contemplation there, a bit more confliction between, you know, should I be a Witcher? Am I as good as Geralt taught me to be? And am I as good as Geralt himself? And there could be that confliction, which could play into the world building that we already know. And I think that could be something to sink our teeth into, to say the least. Now, there was a lot of talk before we got this announcement for The Witcher 4 that The Witcher 4 would be set many, many years before or many, many years after The Witcher 3. It was up in the air what timeline we'd see, and a lot of people said they didn't want to see Ciri, they wanted to see something new, but to be honest, I kind of like this character arc, I kind of like where they're going with it. You know, Ciri is a genuinely interesting character, she's already had good character development, all they need to do now is just progress that more, flesh it out, fall back on the stuff we already do know to enrich the story even more, and it would be interesting to see where we go in the world of The Witcher 4. Personally, I don't just want to see the same places we went to in The Witcher 3, like Novigrad, Velen, Skellige. You know, I'm looking for places maybe we haven't visited since The Witcher 2, or maybe even The Witcher 1, or maybe we haven't visited them at all in the games, maybe just in the shows, or the books, or in no media, you know what I'm saying? I want to see something new, something familiar, but new. What do you guys think about this? Comment below. If you're new to this channel, I usually cover Assassin's Creed, but you know, we branch out here and there. I'm experimenting, so if you like what you see and you want to see me experiment on other gaming news, then feel free to subscribe. Do you like what you see? Do you disagree with what you see? Let's speculate, let's get a conversation going. I love you guys. May the Father of Understanding guide us. I will see you soon. Goodbye.